Hi, my name is Phil Seaver. I'm a principal partner of Seaver Story. I'm here today with Ben Wallace. We're our intern. We're shooting a series of videos. Ben just joined the firm. He's trying to learn more about eminent domain and what we do. And I thought we'd do a series of videos where he asks questions. And I tried to answer them. And some of the same questions our landowners have when they call the firm and they have questions about eminent domain or condemnation. So Ben, what's on the plate for today's video? What do we have?
How do you fight eminent domain?
Oh, that's one question with a lot of answers, a lot of answer to it. I'm going to be blunt and say it's very difficult to fight eminent domain. A lot of landowners will call us and their first instinct is to say, well, I want to fight the taking. And I have to tell those landowners the bad news is that if the project that they're taking the ground for is for a public good or public work of some sort, then your chances of fighting the project pretty slim to none, and slim left town, so to speak. So states have a right to take. Municipalities, power lines, et cetera, all have a right to take so long as it's for a public project. And public projects pretty broad in definition, but some standard public takings are roads, power lines, pipelines, and in almost all those instances, it's going to be very, very difficult to fight the power of eminent domain and say that there's no right to take. And so a lot of landowners will come to me and say, Phil, I want to fight this road project, and I'll turn them away as a client because I don't want to take their money for what I know is going to be a bad result. There are some very kind of unique instances where government overreaches or government takes more than they should. I'll give you an example, like for power lines and pipelines. A power line company or a pipeline company may show up and say, they'll show up at your doorstep and say, sign this easement agreement. And inside the easement agreement, it'll say something along the lines of, will you agree to allow us to install fiber optic for telecommunications purposes? And this is an overreach. They're not allowed to take for telecommunication purposes so they can resell the Time Warner or something like that. They can only take to install their power line or their pipeline. So you got to watch those kind of little overreaches there. I'm trying to think of a state instance where I saw a right to take issue from the state. Hey, I'll give you a good one. We had a client that was having a taking occur on his property, and they were going to build a road across his property to service another landowner, just one single landowner. And our argument was that you can't build a road across my client's property to help one guy. That's not a public purpose to help one guy. And it's interesting because the law said, well, Phil, you're wrong. I mean, I was surprised when we dug deep into the law and it said you can build a road to serve one person. And that is a public purpose. But the interesting thing that the law said in that particular case was, well, they can build a road to serve one person so long as building the road is less expensive than doing something else. And we found out that building a road was more expensive than doing the other thing they could have done. And in that particular instance, we were able to beat a road taking and force them not to take. So, but that's out of 2,000 cases, 3,000 cases. We had one case where we stopped the taking. So very difficult to stop taking. So Ben, what questions, does that raise any questions for you, do you think?
Yeah. So if you can't fight it, what should you do?
Well, really the focus should be on compensation.
Okay.
So after they take, you've got to really figure out, you're entitled, the thing that the landowner is entitled to. You say, well, the state's got all this power, they're taking all this land from me, what can I do about it? The thing the landowner can really do is fight for compensation, the right compensation. And if we take a case, it's because we believe there's a lot of additional compensation in the case. And we help landowners get the right compensation. I mean, think about how terrible it is. Somebody takes the ground I'll tell you how many times I've seen this. We go to trial, and the state will tell me, "Oh, your client's being so greedy and so terrible to ask for all this money." Well, think about that. Like, they took the client's property and now they're blaming him for asking for more money. It's kind of almost incredible, the attitude that the DOTs have. We just did a trial where the offer was $80,000 and the jury verdict was $2.4 million. I think if the client hadn't asked for more money, he would have been out over $2 million in that case. He would take it 80,000, and the state was all offended that we were asking for more money. So that's where the landlord's got to be. The landlord's got to be focused, like money focused. That's the only thing that can really help them. We can do for them. Anything else?
Just like a broad question, like, would it be possible to fight a eminent domain case without an attorney, or is that too difficult?
God, no. Yeah, like you're gonna run into such a buzzsaw because the law is so sort of narrow and very nuanced. And clients will come to me. They got on the internet for 10 minutes and they said, "Oh, I found this case where it says I can fight the eminent domain," and it's just the application that they find for this is so incredibly narrow. It doesn't have any application to their case, and they're going to lose. And so being your own like internet keyboard attorney in an eminent domain case, extraordinarily difficult because the law is so nuanced. You'll just get run over pretty quickly. Well, I think that covers that topic. Good conversation today. Thanks, Ben. And hopefully, landowners, if you're watching this video, you learned a little bit about can you fight eminent domain? If you do have a question, say you want to run something by our firm, please feel free to reach out. My name is Phil Seaver. I'm happy to talk to you about your issue. And if you have a fight to take case, I'll talk to you about that as well. And we can chat about it. There'll be some contact information after the video. Please feel free to reach out. Thanks again for joining us. Have a great day.